Before this story begins, before the skies open and the fire rises, take a moment, because what you are about to witness is more than a tale of a creature. It is a reminder of what the world once was, and what it is slowly losing. If stories of survival move you, if ancient life, forgotten power, and the balance of nature still matter to you, then stay with us. Watch until the end, and if this journey touches you, even in silence, support stories like this by subscribing, liking, and sharing, because every view keeps these stories alive. And if there is any animal, living, extinct, or legendary, that you want us to tell the world about, write its name in the comments. Your voice helps decide the next story we bring to life. Now, let us return to a time before history remembered names. Long before maps were drawn, before oceans were crossed, before humans learned to name the stars, the world already had guardians, not rulers born of cruelty, not beasts shaped by chaos, but ancient beings refined by time, instinct, and balance. Among them, none commanded existence like the dragon. Across scorched plains and frozen peaks, along volcanic ridges and endless skies, the dragon endured not as myth, but as memory etched into stone and instinct. It was not magic that sustained it. It was evolution, a living convergence of biology, dominance, and purpose. The dragon did not conquer the world, it balanced it. Every culture remembers dragons, because the land remembers them first, in bones buried deep beneath mountains, in scorch marks fossilized into rock, in the fear and reverence written into human storytelling. Across continents that never met, the dragon did not arrive suddenly. It evolved. Ancient ancestors crawled from primeval depths, scaled cliffs, ruled forests, and eventually claimed the sky. Wings were not gifts, they were solutions to survival. Fire was not fantasy, it was adaptation. Chemistry turned into defense. Scales were not armor for war, but protection from a world that never forgave weakness. Size was not excess, it was necessity. Nature does not create perfection. Nature creates what survives. And the dragon survived everything: ice ages that crushed continents, volcanic winters that blackened the sky, predators that vanished into extinction. Where others adapted by shrinking, the dragon adapted by enduring. Even when they disappeared, they never truly left. Their shadow remained etched into myths, carved into temples, whispered into legends by civilizations that sensed a truth older than language. Dragons were not monsters, they were reminders that the world once belonged to forces beyond human control. That balance, not dominance, is the true power of nature, and that survival is the greatest story ever written. The dragon survived everything, including time itself.
In the earliest ages of the world, life competed violently. Survival was not guaranteed by size or strength alone. Predators grew larger, teeth sharper, senses keener. Prey grew faster, more alert, more evasive. Environments shifted without warning. Seas rose, forests burned, ice advanced, and continents fractured. Only creatures capable of rapid, relentless adaptation endured. From this chaos the dragon emerged. It was not born fully formed. It was forged by pressure. Generation after generation, its body answered the world's demands. Bone structures thickened and reshaped, becoming dense yet flexible enough to support immense weight and the strain of flight. Joints locked and released with precision. Muscles layered with tightly packed fibers capable of explosive strength, allowing sudden bursts of speed, devastating strikes, and powerful wing beats that could lift a massive body into hostile skies. Scales evolved not merely as armor, but as systems. Each plate overlapped with purpose-deflecting blows, dispersing impact and resisting puncture. Beneath their hardened surface, the scales regulated temperature, preventing heat loss in frozen altitudes and deflecting searing temperatures. Near volcanic regions, they retained moisture during long flights over arid lands and acted as shock absorbers during landings that would shatter lesser creatures. Internally, the dragon became a masterpiece of endurance. Its heart was enormous, layered with dense muscle capable of pumping oxygen-rich blood across vast distances. This heart sustained long glides across continents and powered sustained flight where thinner air crippled other species. Its lungs grew complex and multi-chambered, optimized to extract oxygen even at extreme altitudes, where most creatures would suffocate. Airflow systems recycled breath efficiently, allowing the dragon to soar, dive, and climb without exhaustion. The nervous system adapted as well. Reflexes sharpened, sensory organs tuned to vibration, pressure, and thermal shifts. The dragon could feel storms before clouds formed, detect prey through ground tremors, and sense danger long before it appeared. Intelligence followed not human thought, but instinct refined into strategy. Fire came later, not as magic, as evolution. Chemical glands developed deep within the chest cavity, protected by reinforced bone and insulated tissue. Volatile compounds were produced through metabolic processes, stored separately in sealed chambers, harmless alone, catastrophic when combined. One compound acted as fuel, another as catalyst. Ignition occurred through specialized bone channels in the throat and jaw, where friction, compression, and heat created a spark. This was not random destruction. This was controlled power.
It is strong where it must be. A dragon's body is a masterclass in evolutionary engineering, every feature shaped by survival, every structure refined by time. Its skull is heavily reinforced, built to absorb massive impacts during combat and flight. Thick bone plating protects the brain, while shock-absorbing joints prevent fatal fractures. Rows of backward curving teeth ensure that once prey is caught, escape is nearly impossible. The jaw muscles are immense, generating crushing force that rivals and, in some cases, surpasses the strongest predators known to science. The neck balances flexibility with protection. It bends and coils for precision strikes, yet remains armored to shield vital arteries and the spinal cord. This allows the dragon to strike with speed, while keeping its most vulnerable systems safe from counterattacks. Its wings are vast, spanning enormous distances, but they are not fragile membranes, reinforced with hardened bone struts and dense muscle fibers. They are capable of supporting the dragon's full body weight in flight, sudden takeoffs, and even mid-air combat. Each wing beat is calculated power, not wasted motion. Scales overlap like stone tiles, forming a living shield. They redirect blows, resist extreme heat, and shed damage that would cripple other creatures. Beneath the scales lies thick, resilient hide that absorbs impact and limits injury. Pain exists, but it does not command the dragon. Survival does. The tail is not decoration. It is a weapon. It stabilizes the body in flight, anchors the dragon during ground combat, and strikes with devastating force. A single sweep can break bones, knock down enemies, or clear space in moments of danger. The dragon is not fast without reason. It is not strong without purpose. Every aspect of its body serves survival. This is not excess. This is design forged by nature itself. Dragons do not hunt impulsively. They observe. From high cliffs, drifting cloud cover, and rising thermal currents, dragons study the world below. They memorize movement patterns, track territory shifts, and calculate risk with instinct sharpened by survival. A dragon may watch a herd for days, sometimes weeks. It waits for weakness and injury, isolation, hesitation, panic. Patience is part of the hunt. When the moment arrives, the attack is swift, silent, and decisive. Fire is used sparingly. It demands energy. It exposes position. Dragons prefer gravity, surprise, and shock. A sudden dive from the sky is often enough to end the hunt before it truly begins. Prey does not suffer long. Efficiency defines the kill. Once fed, dragons retreat. They do not kill without reason. Excess destruction destabilizes ecosystems, and imbalance invites conflict. Dragons instinctively avoid both. They are not cruel. They are precise. Dragons do not hunt impulsively. They observe. From high cliffs, drifting cloud cover, and rising thermal currents, dragons study the world below. They memorize movement patterns, track territory shifts, and calculate risk with instinct sharpened by survival. A dragon may watch a herd for days, sometimes weeks. It waits for weakness, an injury, isolation, hesitation, panic. Patience is part of the hunt. When the moment arrives, the attack is swift, silent, and decisive. Fire is used sparingly. It demands energy. It exposes position. Dragons prefer gravity, surprise, and shock. A sudden dive from the sky is often enough to end the hunt before it truly begins. Prey does not suffer long. Efficiency defines the kill. Once fed, dragons retreat. They do not kill without reason. Excess destruction destabilizes ecosystems, and imbalance invites conflict. Dragons instinctively avoid both. They are not cruel. They are precise. Every dragon claims territory. Their borders are vast mountain ranges, deep valleys, scorched plains, and volcanic fields. Territory is not marked by scent or signs, but by absence. The silence itself is a warning. Few creatures dare enter land claimed by a dragon. Conflicts between dragons are rare. Injury invites weakness. Death is permanent. Survival demands restraint. When confrontation does occur, it follows ritual. Winds spread wide. Fire flares into the sky. Roars roll across valleys like thunder. These displays test dominance long before claws or teeth are used. Most disputes end without bloodshed. Older dragons rule through presence alone. Their size, scars, and stillness speak louder than fire. Younger dragons wander seeking unclaimed land, pushing boundaries, testing fate. Many fail. Survival filters the weak without mercy. This is how balance is maintained. Dragons reproduce slowly. This is intentional. Once every several decades, courtship begins. Two dragons meet in open skies. Spirals of flight, controlled bursts of flame, displays of strength and restraint. Eggs are laid deep within volcanic chambers, geothermal caves, or stone fortresses. Heat incubates the young. Shells are nearly indestructible. Parents do not nurture. When hatchlings emerge, survival begins immediately. Fire develops slowly. Wings strengthen painfully. Hunger drives learning. Many do not survive. Those that do become legends. Growth takes decades. Full maturity may take a century. Dragons do not rush evolution. Time bends around them. Dragons shape ecosystems. Controlled burns regenerate forests. Predation prevents overpopulation. Their presence alters migration routes, vegetation patterns, and predator hierarchies. Where dragons live, life adapts. Smaller predators become cautious. Prey evolves alertness. Landscapes remain balanced. When dragons disappear, imbalance follows. Every culture remembers dragons because memory persists. Cave paintings, oral stories, symbols carved into stone. Dragons became gods, demons, protectors, warnings. Perhaps they still exist, not as rulers, but as survivors. Watching, waiting, because survival does not announce itself. Instinct governs dragons. Energy conservation, strategic aggression, environmental awareness, silence when necessary, violence when unavoidable. They are not evil. They are not kind. They are balanced. If dragons live today, they live hidden, deep beneath mountains, beyond human reach, in places where time moves slowly. The world no longer belongs to them, but it once did. And it remembers. If there is any animal, ancient, living, or legendary, that you want us to explore next, tell us in the comments below. Subscribe for more cinematic wildlife stories where instinct, survival, and truth collide.